Who is Europe for? Can Europe be the home of anyone in the world who walks in and calls it home? Now, my suggestion would be that the answer to that question is no. It cannot be, sadly, regrettably, but it cannot be. The welfare state will not put up with it. Societally, it will not put up with it. Culturally, it will not put up with it. Fine. In which case, you have to have an entirely different conversation than the one we've been having. You have to have a serious conversation about what your limits are, where those limits end, and how you can behave decently along the way with that in mind. And we, I think, in different countries are having some of that conversation. Some countries are going to run way ahead of that and have an indecent conversation. I've no doubt about that. But the surest way to have the indecent conversation is not to have the sane and sensible conversation now. So I suppose I just finished with this, and this one thought. I started off with that head of Hermes in your National Gallery, which is to be careful with this. If there's one thing I've learned from traveling around the world, it's that what you have here and what we have in my country and what we have generally in Europe is very unusual. It's very unusual. It is not the natural default state of humankind. It isn't the case that if you throw everybody into a cauldron anywhere in the world, it always comes out looking like Oslo. Sadly. But that's the case. So in that case, be careful with it. And sometimes people say to me, because we have now the resurgent questions about nationhood, nationalism, and patriotism indeed. And many people don't like these conversations, and I don't like a lot of the conversation. But some years ago, I clarified this to myself when somebody said to me, do you feel patriotic? And I said, that's a very difficult question to answer, because I'm not entirely sure. I said, well, patriotism suggests something that you yourself maybe have contributed to, and something you yourself have fought for, and something more. And I'm just very lucky to have inherited this. So here's my response to that question, which I leave you with before handing over to you for Q&A on, by the way, whatever you want. I'm very happy to roam as widely as you fancy. No question too low. I'd leave you with this thought that my answer to this question is that you don't have to be some kind of tub-thumping nationalist. You don't have to be right-wing. You don't have to be left-wing. You don't have to be anything else. All that I would suggest to people as one of the ways through this is to recognize that we should approach ourselves and what we have with a sense of gratitude. To sense the gratitude for the unbelievable good fortune that we have. We can wish that the rest of the world had that good fortune as well. But then the great question for us is, how do we enjoy that good fortune without making sure that the next generation has something that's less fortunate? And I think that that's eminently possible, but it starts with a conversation, and it's a conversation I think we're way overdue to have. With that, I hand over to you. Thank you.